In the previous lesson, we spoke a little about yugas and dharma coming to Earth via light from a galactic sun, which was many years later confirmed by modern science. Sri Yukswar believed and described in his book, The Holy Science, that the planets and celestial bodies of our solar system and universe are all very deliberately designed to affect our lives on Earth. In this lesson, we will focus on our moon and how it impacts the Christ cycle and production of cerebrospinal fluid as well as DMT in our bodies naturally. The Vedics of ancient India were more wise compared to us now in certain ways owing to their existence during a particular time in history when the Dharma at that time allowed them to understand the universe in both material and immaterial paradigms. Luckily for us, many traditions have recorded these learnings, and we have been able to learn from them in these times of lower dharma like now. Without such passing down of information, we would be very much in the dark spiritually. In this lesson, I will show you how to understand the moon's phases to know when exactly the Christ oil cycle is for you personally. To recap, a Christ oil cycle is a 2 to 3 day period of time which occurs every month, which allows your body to produce and propagate very beneficial compounds in and around your body. The Christ oil cycle of 2 to 3 days can be determined by knowing 1. Your astrological birth house, and 2. when the moon is in your astrological birth house. We will use a moon's phase calendar to calculate the Christ cycle for you. Please note, every month you want to do a Christ oil cycle, you should recalculate it as it changes every month with the moon's changing astronomical phases. Let's start by figuring out your astrological birth house in sidereal astrological calendar. This is the calendar the ancient Vedics of what we would now call India used to understand astrological events. Note, there are two main astrological calendars in use today, the Vedic and the Western. Western people will often use the Western calendar, but it is preferred in my experience to use the sidereal or Vedic calendar. If you use the Western, you will still be able to take advantage of the Christ oil cycle, but try to use the Vedic if you can. In the video description below, you can find a link to a sidereal astrological calendar. Click the link and enter in your birth date information to find your Vedic astrological birth house. Once you have done this, take your birth house, for example Cancer, and then open the second link below to the moon phase calendar. In the moon phase calendar, you will need to select the month you want to calculate the Christ oil cycle for, and then click on the links in each segment of the calendar to find the start of the period of time when the moon is said to enter your particular astrological house. Here is an example. If calculating for a Cancer in February 2025, we would click on the links in each segment or day of the calendar until we find the link which tells us we are entering Cancer. This day and time will mark the beginning of your Christ oil cycle for February 2025. In the same calendar, look 2 to 3 days ahead and click the links again to see when the moon is leaving Cancer. This will mark the end of your Christ oil cycle for February 2025. That's it, you have now correctly calculated when your next Christ oil cycle is. In the coming lessons, we will discuss how to prepare for this 2 to 3 day period to maximize its effectiveness for physical healing and spiritual development.